Eric? Are you there? We need to talk. Why did I only get $5 for this month's child support payment? What's going on? You promised to send me $200 a month. Are you in some kind of trouble? This is your duty as a father, so I'd appreciate if you'd stop screwing me around and actually pay the amount you said you would.
Sup, Joanne? I'm guessing you checked your bank balance.
Duh. Why do you think I'm messaging you? We might have been divorced for 5 years now, but that doesn't change the fact that you're Fonzie's father. And it doesn't change the fact that you have obligations to fulfill to him. If you don't start fulfilling those obligations properly, you and I are going to have issues.
No heckin' way. This ain't fair at all. It's not like I'm the one raising Fonzie, is it? Why should I give you all that money for him when I'm hardly even involved? I only see him a few times a month. It makes no sense for me to pay that much.
Excuse me? Are you for real right now?
To be honest, I thought it was bullcrap from the get-go, but I ignored my better judgment and carried on paying the full amount for years because I was scared you'd stop playing games with visitation rights. You know what? I'm not going to take it anymore. $5 a month is more than enough child support money. You're the one who divorced me. Raising the kid is your responsibility.
Oh my God, Eric, are you being serious right now? Like, are you actually being serious right now? You genuinely believe $5 child support a month is enough?
Are you dumb? This ain't a question of whether it's enough or not. This is a question of why the heck I have any obligation to pay you child support in the first place, considering you're the one who divorced me.
I divorced you because you cheated on me, you doofus. Jesus. Do you want us to drag all that old crap up again? Besides, the child support money isn't for me. The clue's in the name. It's for Fonzie. He has a right to that money. You're supposed to be paying $200 a month in child support to fulfill your obligations as Fonzie's father.
What's the point if you're the one who spends it? I don't see how it's helping Fonzie. You're just using him as a tool to get your grubby mitts on my cash.
What am I supposed to do? Give it to him? He's 7 years old, you idiot! You've been paying me the money into a bank account I made especially for this purpose for the last 5 years. I spend all of it on Fonzie with utmost consideration for his needs at all times.
I wonder. Are you really telling the truth? I'm not convinced. You hear stories all the time about struggling single mothers spending all their kids' child support on themselves. It wouldn't surprise me one heckin' bit if that turned out you were doing the same thing. Single mothers are all the same, after all. Everyone knows you're a blight on society.
Wow, because that's not prejudiced. Jesus, Eric, you're unreal. Fine, if you don't trust me, how about I show you my receipts? I've been keeping everything just in case you ever complained about this exact kind of thing. So if you want to see them, I'm ready.
I ain't got the time to look at your frickin' receipts. Do I look like a bank clerk? Look, bottom line is, the child support payments will be going down to $5 a month from here on out. That will be all.
Oh, no you don't. Wait a sec. You don't just get to decide the conversation's over when I'm not done speaking to you. We made an official agreement at the time of the divorce, so you don't have the right to reduce the payments without my consent. You sent me another $5 again this month. Eric, you seriously need to cut this crap out. If you insist on continuing with this absurd behavior, I'll have no choice but to take extreme measures.
What's that supposed to mean? You wouldn't be able to take an extreme measure if it hit you in the face.
Oh, you really think so? Well, then go ahead and try me. It means speaking to my lawyer again and having it arranged that the money be taken from you through other means, such as, I don't know, having it seized directly out of your salary.
Directly seized? Sorry, babe, but that ain't gonna happen.
What makes you so sure?
Yeah, that's a personal question. And a severe invasion of my privacy, so... I'm sorry, sugar tits, but I can't answer that.
You have a warped view on rights when you can't answer a simple question, but have no issue with denying your son the right to his child support.
Like I said, I'm not the one raising the brat, so you should be grateful you're even getting $5.
If there are circumstances making it difficult for you to pay the full amount, then you should just say so. If you have something going on in your life that can't be helped, then I'd be willing to consider a temporary reduction. But we're never going to go anywhere if you keep playing these stupid games with me.
Circumstances? Nah. It's plain sailing on my end, babe. The bottom line is the child support payments will be continuing at $5 a month forever. See ya.
Hey, wait! Hey, Joanne, it's been a while. It's Eric's sister, Anna. Huh? Anna? I hope you're doing okay. Sure, I'm alright. I hope you're doing okay, too. Things sure were chaotic back while the divorce was going on. Thanks so much for having my back then, babe. You really have no idea how much it meant to me. It's fine, really. The whole thing was all my idiot brother's fault to begin with, so of course I was gonna have your back. Anyway, about why I messaged you today. My idiot brother wouldn't happen to have done anything else idiotic lately, would he? How do you mean? For example, anything to do with the child support? Well, actually, now that you mention it... God damn it. I'm impressed. You always were pretty darn perceptive, Anna. Would you mind telling me exactly what he's doing? Alright, well, starting last month, he took it upon himself to reduce the child support payments to $5 a month. $5? It was supposed to be $200 a month, right? Right. Up until last month, we never really spoke at all, but he'd been paying me the full $200 on time every month without issue. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he boldly declares that he's reducing it to $5 a month without going through any official procedures, without going through my lawyer, and completely without my consent. Wow, I see. Did something happen on your end? How did you know something was going on? Well, I'm not sure exactly how to tell you this, but here's what happened. I'm not sure whether it was my mom or my dad, but anyway, up until recently, one of them had been dragging my lazy-ass brother to the bank every month. That way, they could confirm beyond any doubt that he was, in fact, paying the child support like he was supposed to. Wow, really? Yes. Damn. So they've been going out of their way to help me behind the scenes these last 5 years? I feel kind of guilty. Wait, what do you mean until recently? Well, my mom and dad were involved in a car accident the day before last month's child support payment. Oh my god, no way! Are they both okay? They're a little scratched, bruised, and shaken up, but there's no danger to their lives. They're both staying in hospital for the time being, but the doctors are pretty confident they won't suffer any ill effects from the accident. Phew, well, I'm really pleased to hear that. However, the problem is, my mom and dad being stuck in hospital beds means there's no one to supervise my idiot brother and make sure he paid the child support. I'd love to help out if I could, but I live a long way away with my husband, so it'd be difficult for me to take over in my parents' absence. I see. So Eric's sudden $5 a month declaration is actually him taking advantage of the situation with your mom and dad's car accident? I'm so sorry, Anna. I know this is probably the last thing you needed on your plate. Whoa, now, take that back. You don't have a thing to apologize for, babe. I finally understand what's happening now. Thanks so much for letting me know. Don't mention it. Anyway, as for what we do next, my mom and dad said they want to speak to you about something. Huh? Me? What could it be? I can only apologize in advance for the inconvenience, but would you mind heading down to the Herbert Hoover General Hospital to see them on your next day off? I'll cover your transportation costs and your hotel if you need to stay the night. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about that. I can cover everything. Eric won't be at the hospital when I arrive, will he? No, of course not. All right. Well, in that case, I'll head down to see them on Sunday, and they can talk to me about whatever they want then. Sunday? All right. Got it. I'll let you know my time of arrival closer to the day. Great. Thanks a bunch, Joanne. Sorry again for the trouble.
Hey, Joanne. Remember how you were bitching and whining about my $5 a month child support contributions? Well, it just so happens I have some good news to announce. I'm willing to bump it back up to $200 a month. If you marry me again.
I take it that means you'll only be putting $200 into the household every month?
You're working. What's wrong with that? $200 is more than enough.
Not even close. Be honest, Eric. The only reason you're messaging me with this crap is because you got fired recently and are currently juggling several part-time jobs in an attempt to make up for the massive blow that got dealt to your income.
Huh?
Besides, you're nothing but talk. It's always the same with you. I bet you'd stop contributing even the $200 once you got comfortable.
No way. That's not true.
How can I trust anything you say? Your word means nothing ever since you broke your promise on the child support and took it upon yourself to drop it down to $5 a month. I mean, why did you get it? You're in a desperate financial situation and will stop at nothing to claw back any money you can. You used your parents' car accident as an opportunity to reduce the child support payments to the paltry sum of $5 a month. Now you have the nerve to say you'll bump it back up to $200 if I remarry you? Does your arrogance know no bounds? Was this the plan all along? To try and make me suffer by cutting the payments before giving me an in to get the money back by marrying you again so you could leech off me and do nothing around the house all day just like the good old days? I'm sure that had your plot succeeded, you would have done your utmost to force me to work more hours than ever before to fund your pathetic, worthless existence.
No way. It's not like that.
There was just one little problem with your master plan. I make far too much money for cutting the child support to make me desperate enough to marry you again.
Seriously? Huh. Wait a sec. How the hell do you know so much about my situation?
Wow, you noticed. Maybe you're not as much of a pea-brained moron as I thought you were. Anyway, you'll have to excuse me. I just arrived at the hospital to visit your parents.
What?
I'm with your sister, Anna.
What the heck is going on?
She told me all about the situation with your mom and dad, and suddenly your crazy behavior surrounding the child support suddenly makes perfect sense.
Oh my god. What the heck? You're all ganging up on me behind my back.
Stick your child support payments up your ass.
Wow. Really? You mean I don't have to pay?
Yep.
Like seriously? Like, really, really, really?
The downside is that you'll never see your son Fonzie again. But as long as that's fine with you, we can go ahead with 0 child support.
Sure. Yeah, that works for me. Okay. Let's do it. Yeehaw!
Understood. Your mom and dad will fill you in on the rest.
Woohoo! Talk about hitting the frickin' jackpot. My life is about to get so much easier. Hey, bitch. Is that what you meant by me not having to pay child support anymore? My goddamn parents agreed to give Fonzie my frickin' inheritance money in return? Give me back my money. Now.
It's not your money anymore.
But it should have been mine. It belonged to me originally. Tell Fonzie to waive his right to the inheritance.
It's too late, Eric. The procedures have already begun.
Not my problem. Undo it. Now. Tell Fonzie to relinquish his right to the inheritance now.
He's a 7-year-old child.
Age has nothing to do with this, bitch.
Why not use this as an opportunity to self-reflect instead of swearing at me like some demented old man? This obviously would never have happened if you hadn't been such a blithering moron that you thought it was actually acceptable to reduce the child support payments to $5 a month.
Yeah, my money. My money!
Anyway, don't you have bigger things to worry about right now?
What are you talking about?
Isn't the young girl at your workplace filing charges against you for stalking her?
Huh?
I got a phone call from her parents explaining how the middle-aged dad at the milkshake cafe where their daughter works has been following her home and loitering outside their house with a pair of binoculars every day. They were worried taking you to court and potentially having you thrown in jail might have negative consequences for our son, but I assured them you have nothing to do with Fonzie and that my fiancé has plans to adopt him soon.
What? Your fiancé? You've been cheating on me this whole time?
I met him after we divorced. Don't lump me in the same category of a scumbag as you.
What, did you just call me bitch?
This is the last time we'll ever speak. Because I'm going to block you very soon.
Huh?
I kept you unblocked in case we ever needed to discuss Fonzie, but it looks like there's no danger of that anymore.
Hey, wait, no.
Like I just told you, I have plans to get married soon. An irritating jerk making my phone blow up with notifications is the last thing I need on my plate when I have a wedding to plan. If you desperately need to discuss something with me, you're welcome to contact me through the lawyer we used during the divorce.
Joanne, you listen here, bitch. Who the fuck do you think you are?
All right, I think it's time to block you now. Apparently, Eric tried to launch an assault on his mom and dad's hospital ward after that. But they could read their son like a book, and they'd already requested that hospital security refuse him entry in advance. Hilariously, he walked away gritting his teeth after vainly huffing and puffing at them until the hospital director came out and threatened to call the police. Unbeknownst to him, Eric's dad had been going through the procedures to sell their house ever since he found out about the stunt he pulled with the child support. By the time he found out, the house was already sold. With that, Eric was officially homeless. However, he still had a major problem. He had to come up with the compensation he now owed the girl he'd been stalking at work. In a stroke of miraculous luck, he managed to land himself a job at a factory where the manager agreed to let him live inside a storage shed on the premises. It may seem like things were going surprisingly well for my ex-husband, given the circumstances, but that was where his luck ran out and his nightmare began. It turned out the factory he landed a job at was notorious for exploiting its employees. He's currently working like a dog to pay back all of the debt he owes. Last I heard, his power-tripping manager only lets him sleep in the shed for 4 hours per day, forcing him to work the other 20 without breaks. I know it sounds rough, but look on the bright side. At least he's too busy to bug me anymore. It really is true what they say, huh? What goes around comes around, so be nice, folks.
Hey, Aaron. Can you talk? You won't believe this. Huh? Hello, Maddie. What happened? Hope it's nothing serious. You know that woman from our kindergarten? Cynthia, can't remember her last name. Your daughter Emmy is in the same class as her son. Billy, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Watson. Cynthia Watson. Oh, yeah. Cynthia. Yeah, her son is in the same class. I talk to her on occasion. Didn't she say she just had her second child like 3 days ago? Yes, that's right. I was in the PTA meeting with her last year, so I knew her contact info. I heard she gave birth, so I called her to congratulate her. I asked her if she had decided on the baby's name. Anyway, it was just so shocking. What are you talking about? What happened? Well, the baby, it was a boy. The name she gave the kid, it was just so mind-blowing. I was so shocked I don't even remember. You know, it was one of those, how can I put it? A snazzy, fashionable name. Something like Saint something or other. Saint something or other? So, by something or other, it's a bit longer? Is that what you're saying? Well, that alone is kind of weird. But people give their kids all kinds of names. No need to get all upset about it. Yeah, well, I really don't care what she names her kid, but the problem was what happened after that. I heard the name and said, "Oh, that's some name," or something to that effect. And you know what she said about my kid, Barry? She said it was old-fashioned and tacky. Can you believe it? She said if I ever went overseas, like to Europe, people would make fun of it, and that he had no chance of working overseas, and added, "I feel so sorry for you." She criticized me for naming my kid Barry. Then she added that naming a kid is something that can't be changed forever. She kept repeating why I chose such a dumb name over and over. What a dumb name. What a cheeky name, like some broken record. And then she's like, in contrast, how wonderful is my son's name? And on and on. Calling my son's name dumb and cheeky? Can you believe it? Barry is way better than this Saint something or other. I can't even remember the stupid name. Wow, really? That's unbelievable. Was Cynthia always like that? I thought she was a bit more laid back. I don't know. Maybe she's all euphoric because she just gave birth. I don't know. Possessed, maybe. Anyway, she went on and on about our kids' names, making a complete mockery of my son's name. That's awful. I heard she is saying the same kind of thing to other moms. Now that she's back from the hospital, when she returns to bringing her kid to the kindergarten, I'm worried that the whole atmosphere will be uncomfortable. I see your point. You're right. Could be a problem. I'll give her a call to say congratulations. See what's up. Hi, Cynthia. Congratulations on your new baby. How are you feeling? Are you all rested? Oh, hello, Erin. Oh, yes. The baby and I are super fine. Baby is doing great. Healthy as an ox. That's great. I just talked with Maddie, from the kindergarten. She tells me that you already picked a name for your newborn. She said it was a very unique name. Mind if I asked what you named him? Thanks for asking. Well, when he was born, he looked like a saint. And then I gazed out the window at the very moment, and the sky, it was a brilliant blue. So, I named him Saint Blue. Pretty awesome, don't you think? Really inspirational. Saint Blue. Okay. Yes, really awesome. Sounds like a name that would come up in those superhero comics. Captain something or this or that ranger. Yes, like a superhero. When he gets older and travels overseas, well, I wanted a name that would really stick. A name people wouldn't make fun of. In this day and age, you have to give your child a name that will be remembered, that will leave an impression. Right. You think so? Of course. What was your kid's name? Wasn't it Emmy or something? Or was it Emily? I mean, please. That was my grandma's name. You better change that name. Sooner the better, while they're young. I mean, please. Emmy? Sounds like a bird or something. EMI. Or some engineering term. Electro... whatever. LOL. What are all these cheeky names? Emmy, Barry. How do you expect them to compete overseas? Bonjour, I'm Barry. LOL. I want my little Saint Blue to spread his wings and fly around the world. Yes, with a name like that, I suppose people overseas would be taken aback. Yeah, don't you agree? But wasn't your son... Didn't he have an ordinary name? Wasn't it Billy or is it William? Pretty common name. Why did you decide to give your newborn such a unique name? Oh, yeah, Billy. Yeah. I was going to name him too, but... My husband and my mother-in-law came up with that name and submitted it, without consulting me. Can you believe it? I really hated that name, Billy. I prefer William, but, kids. So I'm thinking of changing it pretty soon. I'm thinking of something along the lines of Prince or King something or other. I want to change it to a really cool name like that. Ah, right. Sounds wonderful. So, what's your baby's real name? Huh? What do you mean, real name? I know you're just playing around, so what's your kid's real name? I mean, you're not serious about Saint Blue, are you? Are you seriously thinking of naming your kid Saint Blue Watson? Sounds like some kind of product. Huh? What are you talking about? I'm not joking around. Some kind of product? How could you say that? Oh, good heavens. Are you serious? That's his name? Saint Beluga? Are you for real? Yeah, for real. And it's not beluga, it's blue. Saint Blue. Oh, yeah, Saint Blue. But sounds like a punk rock band or something. Huh? Punk? Or maybe a character in that Pokemon cartoon. Are you really okay with naming your kid Saint Blue? You do realize this is permanent. All through school, he's going to be called Saint Blue Watson. Right pickings for bullying. Huh? Are you making fun of me? No, that's not my intention. I just thought, what does it even mean, Saint Blue? Huh? Meaning? Yes, Was it your father's name? Was it your great-grandfather's name? People name their kids for a reason. Could be spiritual or a family tradition. For example, I named my daughter Emily because it means industrious and hardworking. That's the kind of girl I wanted her to be. I read that it comes from Latin. So, does this Saint Blue have a meaning? Well, I'm not sure. Anyway, it sounds cool, right? It's a name that people will pay attention to, especially overseas. Unlike all these idiotic traditional names we hear every day. Oh, I get it. A cool and strong-sounding name that will impress people overseas. Yeah, that's it. You got that right. So, you're religious too, huh? I mean, the saint part. Maybe you should have just named him Saint Michael or Saint Augustine or something. Much more recognizable and impressive, I would think. Especially in Europe. Why pick blue? Well, that's because, what about a middle name? Are you going to choose a middle name? Like Saint Blue James Watson or something like that? To be honest, you'll just confuse the kid. Oh yeah, James was your husband's name. So he would be Saint Blue James Watson Jr.? Or, by your standards, would you prefer Saint Blue James Watson II? Oh, did you already apply for that name? When you submit the form, are you sure you'll have enough space on the form? Maybe you should shorten it to SB, like SBJ Watson. Sounds kind of intellectual. How should I know? I haven't had time to do that yet. I was going to go and do it without telling my husband or my mother-in-law. Oh, is that right? Okay. When you submit it, I'd really like to know what you decided. For reference, when I have my next child. Oh yeah, that reminds me. When he gets into kindergarten and first grade, I wonder if all the kids and teachers will remember the name. Unique, but also a bit hard to remember. You know what I mean? Maddie couldn't even remember what it was. And whenever the teacher changes classes, you'll have to submit his name. I bet it'll just be shortened to SB as time goes by. And SB, well, that could be interpreted in all kinds of ways. Kids. Ugh, nobody is gonna call him SB. Oh, and I recently saw something on the internet. They took this survey, and it said applicants with weird names are at a disadvantage. Corporations prefer to be on the safe side. I know, sounds kind of discriminatory. Well, if he can't even succeed here in the States, how is he going to succeed overseas? Just wondering. Well, he is, Hey, what the hell is this? What are you ragging on about my name choice? Are you mocking me? Of course not. But it was you who said that about Maddie's kid. You said Barry was an old-fashioned and tacky name. That's why I wanted to ask about your name choice. I figured you named your kid for a specific reason. I mean, to degrade someone else's name? You probably had a pretty good reason. I wanted to know why you chose that name, how it would affect that child, what will happen when he grows up. Would it make life difficult for him? I had all kinds of thoughts crossing my mind. I figured you had it all thought out. Oh, please, give me a break. I can do as I please. You have no right to tell me how I can name my child. I don't want to hear your advice. I don't need to hear any of your idiotic reasoning. Thank you. Well, that goes both ways, don't you think? If you want to name your child Paint, Saint, or whatever, you can do as you like. I mean, you're a complete stranger. I have no right to say a damn thing. But I have to defend my friend's child as well as mine. I couldn't just sit by and let it pass. Come on, Cynthia. It really doesn't feel good to hear someone trash talk your kid's name, right? Yeah, well, I guess... You know, you can name your kid whatever you like, and everyone will probably accept it. Why wouldn't they? But I would refrain from disparaging other kids' names. People just won't accept that. You probably said the same thing to the other mothers, am I right? You keep this up, and you won't have any friends left at school. If you're okay with that, I'll say no more. Yes, well... I was just, you know... I'm really sorry. I know you just returned home. You must be pretty tired. I hope you recover quickly. See you at school. After that, I did see her around, but she ignored me. But about a week later, she contacted me. Apparently, she thought about the whole conversation and realized she was in the wrong. She decided to name her son Randall, which means wolf shield, strong and protective. It's apparently a Viking name, actually kind of cool. She also went around to the other mothers and apologized for her attitude. Most of the moms were pretty forgiving. Most chalked it up to the stress from the pregnancy and birth, which we could all relate to. The atmosphere at the kindergarten changed significantly too. No more negative atmosphere. That was my biggest worry. I'm glad I confronted her about this. And I'm glad Cynthia turned out to be an understanding person after all.